all to our annual meeting. Respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, and your members of Samskruti Foundation, invite Dr. C. Uma Maheshwara Garu onto the dais. I would like to invite Dr. D.R. Mohan Reddy Garu onto the dais, please. To begin an auspicious note, may I invite our esteemed guests on the dais, along with key members, to join for the Jyoti Prajwalana.
Thank you for gracing this occasion with the lighting of the lamp. Now I would like to invite Sri Balu Nagaraj Garu to introduce the key members on the dais.
Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to everybody on the dais and on the floor today. First, I would like to introduce Sri B.V.R. Mohan Reddy. Sri B.V.R. Mohan Reddy is the Executive Chairman of SCIENT, focusing on leadership development, innovation, and corporate social responsibility. He founded SCIENT in 1991 with the vision of delivering engineering services globally and pioneered the Engineered in India brand. Known for establishing CAD in India as early as 1982, he has driven SCIENT's rise as a leader in design engineering. Sri Mohan Reddy Garu has held key roles including Chairman of NASSCOM 2015 and 16 and CII Southern Region 2008-9. He serves on the board of the NSDC ASCI and is the Honorary Council for Germany, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. As Chairman of IIT Hyderabad's board, he contributes to academia and industry. He was awarded the Padma Shri for his impact on trade and industry and received the ASME Leadership Award 2011 and the US Department of Commerce Certificate for advancing US-India trade. His dedication to social responsibility led to establishing the SCIENT Foundation, supporting 14 government schools, digital literacy through 54 digital centers, and benefiting over 80,000 community members. Civil Mechanical Engineering from College of Engineering Kakinada and postgraduate qualifications from IIT Kanpur and the University of Michigan with honorary doctorates from JNTU, Andhra University and KL University. He is a fellow of the Institution of Engineers. Sri Buivar Mohan Reddy Garu. I would now like to introduce our chairman, Dr. Chamarthi Umameshwarrao Garu. He is a retired IAS officer and he worked as a General Secretary, Indian Red Cross Society, Andhra Pradesh of Undivided State for about 3 years from 2010 to 2013, which gave adequate opportunity to work with the Governor of Andhra Pradesh. He was President of Andhra Pradesh when Vishwa Mangala Go Grama Yatra was taken up at the national level. This was a year-long campaign in all the districts of the undivided state of Andhra Pradesh. He was President of Dharma Raksha Vedika in the undivided state of Andhra Pradesh. This was also a year-long national level campaign. He served as the General Secretary of the Vivekananda Sata Jayanti Samiti in the undivided state of Andhra Pradesh, involving intensive tours and addressing meetings at different levels, including universities and organizing training programs from 2012 to 2014. He was served as Sarvadhikari for Pratham Varsha Shiksha Varga held at Hyderabad for 21 days in 2013 summer. He was President of Sri Saraswati Vidyapeeth from 2010 till August 2016 and he was President of Vidya Bharati for Dakshina Madhya Kshetra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka states from end of August 2016. He served as the Chief Administrative Officer for Sri Siddheshwari Peetham, Kutralam, Tamil Nadu, a religious body of Sankara Sampradaya established by a Himalayan yogi popularly known as Mauna Swami about 100 years back. This responsibility is from 2012 and continuing. A key member of the team which organized a major seminar on cultural nationalism, participated by about 500 elite from different walks of life. This seminar was held in the first half of 2014 in Hyderabad. Evidently, he's been a very avid and purely voluntary officer after his retirement, and he's now our chairman, and he's continuing to guide all the activities of Samskruti Foundation. Dr. Chamarthi Umameshwarrao. I would now like to introduce Sri DRSP Raju Garu. He is our executive vice chairman of Samskruti Foundation, and he is serving as the executive chairman of Vehan Coffee Limited, which is a 100% export-oriented unit specializing in instant coffee manufacturing with exports to over 28 countries worldwide. He is managing director of Deccan Polypacks Limited, a publicly traded company on the BSE. He was former president of All India Tape Manufacturers Association, a national association representing over 1,000 units across India, with a combined turnover of 10,000 crores. He was former vice chairman of Southern Region Plastic Export Promotion Council under the Ministry of Commerce, Government of India. He is also a managing trustee of the Samskruti Foundation. I would now like to introduce Professor G. Ramesh. Professor G. Ramesh is a IIM Ahmedabad alumni. He served as Indian Economic Service Officer to the Government of India, and thereafter he has served for 35 years at IIM Bangalore as a public policy professor. He has also been advisor to many state and central governments on various issues, and particularly he was advising the then Andhra Pradesh State Road Transport Corporation. He has been advising them, and presently he is the governing council member of Samskruti Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we present an overview of organizational status, showcasing the progress of Samskruti Foundation. I would like to invite Sri T. Rambab Garu. He is a co-convener of Samskruti Foundation. Professionally, he is a civil engineer. With Samskruti Foundation, he has almost 8 years of attachment, association with Samskruti Foundation. I would like to invite Rambabu sir to give the report of Samskruti Foundation.
నమస్కారం అండి శుభ సాయంత్రం a warm welcome once again on the behalf of Samskruti Foundation family member to the family members of Samskruti Foundation. As most of you might be aware, or some of you, that Samskruti Foundation is in its 15th year of existence. In the year 2009, some of the well-wishers and some of the socially conscious and socially responsible people started this organization with an objective of protecting our Samskruti. And today we are celebrating our 15th year. Because the foundation or the platform that they laid, the people like me who worked in different places in the world have a platform or an organization to do some service back to the society, to contribute back to the society. So we are very much thankful to those original members or the founding members who started this organization, which is giving platform to many intellectuals as well as youth to represent themselves to support the society or to do something good in the society. Our Samskruti Foundation works with a tagline called Our Culture, Our Identity. Mana Samskruti, Mana Uniki. If you lose one, you lose both. And our vision is to be National Resource Center for Samskruti. Though we call it as a culture, which is the nearest word in English, there's a lot of difference between Samskruti and culture. So we would like to be that National Resource Center for that Samskruti, and we are working in a mission mode to achieve this object. Our mission statement is to preserve, promote, protect, and encourage the practice of Bharatiya ethos, Bharatiya value systems, through training, through research, conducting workshops, conferences, etc. In order to do this, we have two verticals working in Samskruti Foundation, where one vertical we call it as CLC, which is actually focusing on the youth, especially college-going youth, higher learning institute youth, to instill some value systems in them, to instill a bit of volunteerism in them through various activities conducted throughout the year in the institution. And our directors related to the cultural leadership centers will tell more about the cultural leadership activities. Also, we have a vertical which is called Samskruti Adhyayana Kendra. Samskruti Adhyayana Kendra is basically an intellectual exercise where we are trying to see the relation between the culture and the public policy. How culture can be a part in the public policy formations. How culture can guide the public policy so that the governed and the governance will be aligned, so that the citizens of the nation can be participating in the policies of the government. So that is what we are trying to look at, and we have a series of intellectuals, researchers, and we are aiming at these people who are public policy professionals, public policy practitioners, and the people who have knowledge of our culture and heritage as a group together to formulate these ideas so that we can see whether our past can help us in the present and help in the future generations. In order to make all these things, Samskruti Foundation we started as a small group of people in the year 2009, evolving itself with the time, has grown into an organization, and in the year 2018, we had a conference in Hyderabad where the elders gathered there, especially Suresh Soniji, sorry, instilled this idea that can we group all these intellectuals who gathered in 2018, the who is who in Hyderabad were gathered in that conference, and he gave us an idea, can we group all these people and see whether we can come out with some policies which will be based on our culture, our rich culture. So with that objective, in the year 2019 and 20 onwards, we made an organization chart, and an organizational structure has been changed since then to involve more people who have having a national presence and prominence, and also the people in Hyderabad who are actually well known in their own spheres of work. So the way the organization has been devised since then, for last 4 or 5 years we are working, we have an organization team basically consisting of a trust board, consisting of nearly 5 permanent trustees, and we have a 3-tier system in which advisory council members are in the top, who are of involving the people of Padma awardees and very well known people. And we have second tier as governing council members who are prominent people in the society in Hyderabad as well as pan India. And in the third rank, we have the executive committee, or executive council we call, which started with 20 people, but with the prominence and the encouragement that we are getting, now the number has increased beyond 60, and we welcome more people, especially the younger generation, to come and contribute to the society using this as a platform. The execution structure that we have to do all these activities that we are doing, both SAK as well as CLC, we have directors who are all volunteers, and we have functional heads, and also we have zonal samyojaks and saha samyojaks, who are actually the zonal leaders. I'll explain a little bit about each of that activities and the directors who are involved in the whole process. We have a director for administration and coordination, who will be taking care of the administration and the coordination activities of various activities that we are doing. And we have a director for strategy and operations, how we to go about attract the younger generation and how to give a hand holding for them and continue their journey beyond their college. When they get into the real world, what is that samskara that we could instill in them such that they can carry, and the real world they'll really contribute to the society rather than collecting only from the society. Along with the collection, we also want them to contribute. That's what we want to instill in them when they are in the college days, and when they go into the real world, they do something. We also have a research director, research and development director, who is recently taken over and has been doing a wonderful work in getting the institutions, such as the premier institutions in India as well as higher learning institutions, to collaborate with us to do the research work, wherein we try to look at the culture and the present day public policy and how to link the both and how to guide each other. We also have a director for Samskruti Adhyayana Kendra, also a director for Cultural Leadership Center. We will be actually taking care of all the activities of the cultural leadership, and they will be giving a little brief about the achievements of respective directorship a little later. We also have a director for Samskruti Talks and for Tejaswini. Tejaswini is again woman-centric activity, wherein our women volunteers will be discussing and deliberating or kind of having debates among the college students and among the women folk on their issues, and women-related issues, women-centric issues will be discussed by Tejaswini group. Regarding the functions, we have nearly 10 functions. We divided the work such a way that the functions can be carried out smoothly and without any kind of in a seamless manner. We have a head for human resources, all volunteers again. Yeah? Head for public relations, head for office administration, head for finance, head for event management, head for social media, For training, we have a separate head. For research, we have a head. And printing and publications, also we have a head. So these functional heads take care of the functions in various. Now, in order to carry out all these works, in different parts of Hyderabad and in Telangana and across India, we have devised a zonal structure, which is basically based on the geographical locations of the people, so that their proximity to their zone will help them not to travel too far within Hyderabad. So we had divided the Hyderabad zone into 5 zones: north, east, south, west, and central zone. Similarly, in the state capitals, we are calling it as regional heads, or in the zones. In the every state capital, we would like to have something like this, so that the large mega cities can have the proximity of the resource persons and the volunteers, so that they don't have to travel too far within their respective capitals. Similarly, entire Bharat, we would like to divide it as 4 regions: north, south, east, west, and we have volunteers identified, and the work is in progress with them in their respective places. Also, every initiative that we have has a core team which does planning and work distribution among the volunteers. We have a volunteer force of more than 100 people, but they are all in their respective professions, but they passionately work for Samskruti Foundation when their leisure time. So we are requesting them to give more, and the work distribution is done by these functional heads and the directors directing them. Of course, under the mentorship and the guidance of governing council members and the advisory council members. To sustain the organization, we also conduct yearly a Varshika Yojana, means a yearly planning of our activities. We have a yearly calendar. What are the activities that we are going to do? We recently completed Rakhi for Soldiers, that is Raksha Bandhan, during the Shravan Purnami day, and it was very well done and very well received. Similarly, in the month of January, we will be having Vivek Band, which our CLC leader will be explaining to you. Similarly, for coordination, we have a meeting structure, wherein when we will be having the meetings and distribution of the thoughts, formation of the thoughts, so that the alignment of all the thoughts in by the top to the down, everybody is aligned with a similar thought process. We also have a capability building exercise that we do in a year, around the month of June. We conduct Abhyasa Varga. It is an exercise wherein we all meet together for 1.5 days to 2 days in a secluded place wherein it is possible for all the volunteers to get together, and we carry out our study of the various activities that we are doing, how to improve further. Similarly, we also do online Samskruti Jnanamala. Samskruti Jnanamala is an online initiation, online activity wherein we invite the people who are interested in our Samskruti, in our culture, and to educate and then to get a kind of a knowledge in our own culture, which is definitely a big requirement in the. Also, we have the outreach program is this annual meeting, which we generally conduct between Dasara and Deepavali time, which is our national day. Yeah, okay. So with that, we also have a tour plan, and we request all our directors and the functional heads to give the monthly report so that we actually collect the information and do. We also have very few full-time members who support all our volunteers, and also we have Karyakartas on honorarium, and we have many volunteers working for this organization. So with this, I thank you very much for giving this opportunity to share some of the organizational structure of our Samskruti Foundation family. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Now we are moving to the next session, that is key achievements. As we all know that we have different kinds of initiatives in Samskruti Foundation. Now I would like to invite Dr. Amarnath Reddy Garu onto the dais to give the achievements of the Samskruti Adhyayana Kendra initiative.
Namaste. So in year 2018, when we had a conference organized where the all eminent people of Bhagyanagar have present. When Manya Suresh Soneji has addressed the gathering, then that has become the initiative point for starting the Samskruti Adhyayan Kendra. Followed by in year 2022, there is another conference happened, Chhatrapati Shivaji Statecraft Lessons for Modern India. So these two conferences have changed the entire thought process, and that has given a, a good motivation to start the research activities and formed an activity called the Culture Guided Public Policy Think Tank. So over this period of time, so we tried our best to achieve certain things. So with the efforts and collective efforts of everyone, so we have reached around 18 institutions, the premier institutions across India, for networking and involving them in them various activities such as the ISP, IIM Bengaluru, IIT Hyderabad, IIT Roorkee, and many other national level universities, central universities, and think tanks. So now I would clearly say that, so being the institutional model, we have around 5 full-time researchers working with us, and with their collective efforts, since last 6 months' time, we could able to put an effort towards certain specific research. Now we have conceptualized to work in the water resource management, because water is a vital element. We call it as a Sujalam, and Apaha Sarvasya Beshja. It is a primary source for life as well as the treatment for everything. So in this regard, we proceed to work closely with one of the university, that is the JNTU Hyderabad. Yesterday we had a collaborative discussion how we can go ahead. Probably in a couple of days or within a week time, we will be signing an MOU for carrying out the collaborative research in the field of water resource management, where the research will lead to the doctoral level work, as well as couple of postdoctoral level also possible in that work. And since we being the Samskruti Foundation and Samskruti Culture Guided Public Policy, we have seen Devalayam, that is the temple we see, it is a center for overall well-being of the society. It is not just a place for worship. So now, being considered the importance of this particular domain, we signed an MOU with the Central University of Karnataka to carry out a sponsored research project, where Professor Lingamurthy is a associate professor in the university in the Department of Economics, and that is just started last month. And we are proceeding towards the another big impactful research work, that is the Surajyam, as Chhatrapati Shivaji has, the recent history has impacted. How best we can do the governance apart from the political history. So having learned lessons from that particular conference, we started the Surajyam. So where Professor Avik Sarkar of ISB has volunteered to join us, and he started guiding us, why can't we work for the entire history of the recorded history. Then we have identified around 18 empires, major empires across Bharata, and we started working in that regard. I would say one of the domain, history of water governance and administration, that particular initiative has started, and we are moving forward. Apart from the mainland, where the Jana, the people are inhabited in this country, there is a large portion of country, that is the land is available, that is called the Vanavasi Kshetra. And with the help of the Central Sanskrit University, New Delhi, and with their guidance, we started exploring the Jala Samskruti in Vanavasi areas, as well as the Aranya Samskruti, how people look at the entire nature and what are their practices, and how they can be considered as one of the major inputs for the public policy. Like these are the major dimensions we worked. And from past 6 months, and I'm happy to share, with the guidance of Professor Ramesh ji, and we have presented a paper that is a culture-guided public policy for the first time in IIM Bengaluru. And followed by Minister of Jal Shakti has organized one conference last month, that is September, and where we were invited to talk about Samskruti included, or strata of Samskruti in governance framework for water resource management, and we have clearly presented how the inclusion of Samskruti will play a major role in sustaining the water bodies. And also we have presented another paper where Viksit Bharat, the entire government and the institutions are talking about, and it is one among the major element in Viksit Bharat is a Samskruti. Again, we thought of putting some efforts and how this, the cultural element, the Sanskritic elements can largely drive the Viksit Bharat movement. Like that, we were proceeding in the most structured way, and most probably in the years to come, shortly, we are trying our best to move forward to get ourselves recognized as a research institute from the central government agencies such as the ICSSR and other institutions, so that we can work more impactful research from the Samskrit Adhyayana Kendra. I wish all of you will be with us from all perspectives to support and guide in these endeavors. And last but not the least, I should thank Professor Hemanath ji, Dr. C. Uma Mahesh Rao ji, and W.G. Prasanna Kumar ji, who were the mentors all across, right from the beginning of this institution, in conceptualizing Samskrit Adhyayana Kendra. And our U.M. Chaudhary ji is the director of Samskriti Adhyayana Kendra, has brought out the entire work more systematically. Because of all of their collective efforts, the institution is progressing. I thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. Vivek Modi Garu onto the dais to give the key achievements of Cultural Leadership Center.
Namaste to one and all. I have 4 minutes to narrate the key achievements. All of us have got this in folder about the annual report of Samskruti Foundation, and we have also got the concept paper of Cultural Leadership Center. So it is quite crisp, at the same time quite informative of the activities what we do. So let me focus upon what is not there or what probably may not have been expressed in words here. We made a conscious effort in last couple of years from shifting from centralized working style to decentralized working style, where we divided our city in 5 zones and we created one team in each zone. And all the 5 initiatives of Cultural Leadership Center, which you may find in the concept paper, in January we have Vivek Band Do Good Be Good activity, in February we have National Science Day, then 21st June we have Yoga for Youth, then somewhere in Shravan Mas, somewhere in August we have Raksha Bandhan with soldiers, and we have Samvad and Learn from Leaders, which goes throughout the year. Now all these 5 activities what we conduct, last time there was a qualitative shift apart from quantitative improvement in the numbers from past years. Qualitative shift in the style of our working. Most of these campaigns were primarily led by our zonal leaders. I would also like to acknowledge all our zone team. Here we have Mahesh Shetty ji. Mahesh Shetty ji is a senior IT employee. He's leading our South Zone team. We have Anupama Shah ji here. She's leading our East Zone team. We have Ajay ji. Ajay ji, are you present? Ajay ji was not keeping well, but somehow he was present till now. Maybe he's taking rest. So he's there from our West Zone. Similarly, Central Zone, we have Suhasini ji. She's again not available for some of her personal assignments. And then we have North Zone, Madhukar ji. Madhukar ji is sitting here right behind us. So all these people have completed these things in a way, they have led all these campaigns. So this is a qualitative shift because our aim is to decentralize at the level of resource person, at the level of team working there, planning, associating with the colleges nearby, and doing the work of Cultural Leadership Center, which is influencing youth, making them aware about what we refer as Bharatiya, and also creating role models out of them through various practices, various activities. One thing which I would like to particularly mention in our, one thing is, one of the new thing which happened in the last year was Suposhan. Suposhan was done under our Samvad events, where more than 65, about 70 colleges got in touch, and we did a series of workshops with them highlighting the importance of Suposhit related to food, and highlighting Indian food systems, also highlighting millets. IIMR, Indian Institute of Millet Research, was also partnering us in conducting these workshop, and Midhani was one of our supporters for this. So that was a new addition, and it was quite a success. Another thing which is worth mentioning beyond all the things which I mentioned is last year, I mean, we conducted in Raksha Bandhan for soldier in Raj Bhavan. That was first time in Andhra Pradesh or in anywhere that Raksha Bandhan was conducted in Raj Bhavan. And then Governor Tamilisai Madam was very supportive, and we have conducted very successfully. This time we conducted in 2 Raj Bhavans. So one here, and this time it was not conducted in Raj Bhavan, but the governor, honorable governor, came to the cantonment, and one of the cantonment we conducted it. It was a very good success. And one more event, our Mahesh Shetty ji went all the way to Tripura. Tripura Governor House, our Raksha Bandhan for soldier was conducted. Some of the colleges there participated actively, and he had a wonderful experience there. I wish I had more time to allow him to share a few of his experiences. But to say the least, they were very, very encouraging for us. So this were some of the key highlights. Now I would just like to close with an appeal to all those who may not have been associated directly, maybe just contemplating, maybe on the periphery. Samskruti Foundation through various means gives you a platform. Especially since I am representing Cultural Leadership Center, you have many ways to get associated with us. If you are an intellectual, if you are an expert in some way, you can become a resource person where we can take you to the nearby colleges and share your knowledge in the right context. If you'd like to volunteer, take care of one of the education institute, mentor some of the students. If you are into training in any which way, and if you can support financially, whatever way you can, I appeal to you. And also to pass this message to someone who you think can associate get associate with us and contribute towards this noble cause. With this, I thank our mentors here, our chairman and the entire team for giving us this opportunity, and always encouraging us whenever the things becomes a little difficult. It's a volunteer organization after all. It is their support which keeps us upright and keep moving ahead. Thank you once again, all of you, for giving this patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to invite Sri Venkatratnam Garu to provide key achievements of Samskruti Talks.
Good evening, everybody. I am Venkatratnam. I stand before you to submit a report on the status and activity and the status report on Samskruti Talks. See, Samskruti Adhyayan Kendra has designed and implemented a structure of grouping of available experts into 3 groups, namely Cultural Heritage Group, Public Policy Experts Group, and the Public Policy Practitioners Group. The main objective of SAK is to engage in activities for linking our culture to current policies. But the activity of linking our culture to public policies is not a popular theme in India, or we can say it's not widely known among the people, which has become a hurdle in achieving our objects of SAK. So we felt it necessary to expose the members of the 3 groups to 2 themes. One is the culture and the public policy, to stimulate good working ideas to which they can contribute. As part of the above exercise, SAK started organizing Samskruti Talks, wherein the members can exchange ideas and share the work progress. And these meets were being organized on every third Saturday of every month at our SF office, Samskruti Foundation office. The invitees are being identified for long-term participation and association, and it gave a platform to provide exposure from experts in different disciplines and to hasten the process of identification of projects, areas to which the members of the three groups, more particularly the third group, that is the practitioners group, can contribute. These sessions include talks by experts followed by discussions and question answer sections. Here the participants are limited to 30 because so that there will be ample time for all the participants and the speaker to interact and clarify their doubts, and they can implement it. Since public policy itself is a relatively a less known concept in India, SAK is organizing a few lectures on public policy to benefit all who are associated with SAK to receive important inputs on its content, relevance, and importance to society from experts in the area of public policy. These talks are facilitating a link between the speaker and those from the audience who get triggered, which may culminate into a tangible research activity, a project for SAK with active involvement of the interested person. So some of the important talks conducted by our SAK till date in this year are a talk by our chairman, Dr. Uma Maheshwar Rao ji, our chairman, on cultural connotations of philosophy. And second one is talk by Dr. Prasanna Kumar ji on environmental advocacy through cultural festivals. And third, a talk by Dr. K.S.N. Raju ji on wealth out of waste. And talk by Dr. Radhakrishna Pillai ji on Chanakya Niti and its relevance today. And fifth one, the talk by Professor Tiwari ji, the ex-director of NGRI, on sustainable development. So here, I submit that we are all recording all these talks, and SAK will prepare the database of all the important aspects of these talks and keeps it for future reference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to invite Srimati Anupama Shagaru to provide the key achievements of Tejaswini initiative.
Namaste everyone. My name is Anupama. I am the director of Tejaswini. Tejaswini is the women-centric wing of Samskruti Foundation, set up with the aim of focusing on the role of women in national development and cultural upliftment. Women in our culture have always been powerful and influential, and Tejaswini aims at bringing them to light. Under Tejaswini, we conduct several activities for all sections of the society and all age groups. Some such activities are skill and personality development programs, outreach to educational institutions, funding research, cultural events, making a network of elite women for brainstorming. This year is special for Tejaswini as it marks the 300th anniversary year of Rani Ahilyabai Holkar, who is an epitome of Nari Shakti. She has contributed not only to women empowerment, but also to Dharmic renaissance by building several temples across Bharat. We have begun the process of reaching out to colleges for several programs based on the life and legacy of Rani Ahilyabai Holkar. These programs will include essay writing, group discussions, debates, and several brainstorming sessions. We will culminate these programs on the 11th of December, which again marks the coronation date of Rani Ahilyabai Holkar. So Tejaswini works in association with Cultural Leadership Center at Samskruti Foundation, and the activities are quite similar. So we are working across different zones, across all the higher educational institutions to complete these programs successfully. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to invite Srimati Nagaprashanti Garu to provide key achievements of administration and operations.
Namaste, one and all. As far as administration and operations, we have reached to certain level, though we are moving forward along with the volunteers. Here recently we have set up a studio room and conducted some interviews and Samskruti talks. And though we have part-time volunteers, more than 100 members, but now we have full-time volunteers and 5 interns for this year. And we have extended our office space at NSL, Banjara Hills, that was opened on 11th October. And now we reach to more than 96 colleges in Hyderabad and Telangana, and we have entered MOUs on more than 60 colleges. And we reach to more than 20 universities under MOU. And recently we received 2 cars for this year from Sri Arvind Srimalji. He donated us. And we have NSD units are 25 and RFS units are 40. Our major donors for this year is Midhani, ICHR, Mythic Society, Pulla Reddy, and Continental Coffee Limited, and NSL. And our strength and achievement are volunteers who adopted our vision and mission. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would like to invite Dr. W.G. Prasanna Kumar Garu to provide the balance sheet and budget proposal of Samskruti Foundation.
Thank you very much, Annapurna. Respected Chairman Umameshwara Garu, Sri Dr. BBR Mohan Reddy Garu, and Professor Ramesh, Sri DRSP Raju Garu, and friends who are gathered here. Friends, a very good evening. We have a $1 billion dream, sir. Just as the science book, the book written by Sri BVR Mohan Reddy Garu is very well known, engineered in India. So this institution also has a $1 billion dream of contributing to the public policy in the country and reaching every nook and corner of the country through the cultural frame. Sir, the last year's budget I am presenting. Last year we had 1 crore, we crossed 1 crore for the first time last year, and we had 1 crore 2 lakhs 93,920 was the total budget that we spent that we had in hand last year. We had donations to the tune of 53 lakhs coming from various sources. We had Government of India grant of 6 lakhs 37,000. And at the end of the year, we were left with 30 lakhs money in hand, which gives us the confidence that we can go further and do very well. This year, we have projected with the experience of what we have gone through last year. 1 crore 82 lakhs as the budget for this year. Considering that we have promising sources and promising donors, including the great guidance from people like Dr. BVR Mohan Reddy ji and Sri Umameshwara Garu. This year we have on the cards the research projects where we have research fellow engaged, research associate, research assistant, and interns engaged with more than 25 lakhs of budget. Is, and then for the projects, we have 5 projects which are one on the water, one on the temples and temple management, the third on the tribals, fourth on the food, and the fifth on historical perspective in public policy, each amounting to 10 lakhs. And then we are looking at building a library with 25 lakhs of expenditure in an investment, and the building maintenance looking at around 10 lakhs. So the total budget that we are looking at, the estimates that we have is 1 crore 82 lakhs for an organization which is dreaming to contribute to the nation, especially in the domain of public policy. 1 crore 82 lakhs is definitely not a big amount, neither is it a small amount. So in the context of our past experience of 1 crore, jumping to 1 crore 82 lakhs is what we are looking at, and definitely we are hopeful of contributing to this country. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for providing a brief budget of Samskruti Foundation. And moving forward, we have honored to have our advisory council members and governing council members. I request to share their valuable insights and feedback. I would like to invite Professor G. Ramesh Garu to speak few words about today's session.
Thank you, sir. I mean, I'll speak in proportion to my contribution. Okay. And, you know, I thought you have been in the public policy field and administration for the last 4+ decades. Now, I'd like to share with you how is it in the academic world. Now, if you see the, I mean, I'll be brief, of course. I mean, if you see the Kennedy School, which came almost toward the end of the World War II, and then the Princeton came and all those things came. And you have the MPA and MPP program, which are the most popular program in US and UK and Canada and that. But unfortunately, the public policy in India took a long time. In fact, it was in 2000, we opened the Center for Public Policy in IIM Bangalore. And that was with support from UNDP and DOPT. And they wanted to house it incidentally in a management school, not in an economic school. Because if you look at the other schools, Princeton and all, it's in the economic school. That again brings me to why, management school. If you really look at it, I mean, public policy takes the perspective of political science or law or sociology or even anthropology, but management, they thought, I mean, it will be much more relevant because we have a lot more to do with public administration. If you really look at it, right from Tahsildar to BDO to, very senior levels like that. So they thought that they should have public policy and public administration. So that's what we attempted there. And when I did my first public policy conference in 2003, international conference, I was not sure who will be my contributor. So will he be from economic schools or public policy, management like that? But it started. Starting from there, now, sir, even all IIMs have got a public policy center. IITs have got a public policy center. I think probably he might have set it up or he might be setting it up, in IIT Hyderabad. Apart from the humanities department, they all have. So I would say that if law was the flavor last decade, I would say public policy is the flavor today, because I've signed a lot of students inquiring me about public policy and they are very keen to do that. Now, our uniqueness, which really appealed me to, Samskruti Foundation, and you know that every annual function I'm here, from Bangalore, is the cultural aspect of the public policy. I can say that we have sort of, if I can take liberty with the administrators, we are sort of decultured public policy probably. And we have to really closely integrate with the culture. Okay, whether it is solid waste management or even building a highway or, even building an AI or a, technology and all those things. Everywhere there's a culture involved, and that is something we need to be really conscious of, and that's what appealed to me. And I keep closely interacting with them, and I'm like your spokesperson also. And wherever I get an opportunity, I speak about Samskruti Foundation and what we are trying to do between the culture and the public policy and like that. And so In gist, sir, if you look at ourselves as a think tank, again, think tanks are in hundreds in US, whereas it's not much in, even in UK, Canada, because, there's a public service in those countries. So those think tanks are not many, but think tanks are growing in India now. So what is important from the think tank point of view is that we have to be impactful. Okay. So you do something very critical which makes people sit up and look at us. You don't need to 100 things, but you do something which will really make it impactful. So that is something I always keep searching and thinking, what is it that we can do? So that is through the thought papers. And mostly the RAND corporations and Brookings and all, if you look at it, they influence through thought papers. And then engage, the third aspect is how do you engage with the policymakers and how do you engage with the people. From culture, the most important aspect is that we need to probably work more with the people than the policymakers probably, so that we make a demand-driven policies rather than supply-driven policies. That's our uniqueness actually. And before this, I met a small group of academicians and people like that. So that's where I appeal to them that work with people, work with students, and work with a larger network so that we create a demand. For example, management. Let's create a demand. Let people start going to temple and let, endowment department see what's happening there. Then obviously they'll be pushed to really studying what people are really looking for and like that, So thank you. I mean, with this brief, speech, I would like to really say thank you. It's really a privilege to be there. I thought I'm like a wildcat entry today, actually, when my name was called out. And thank you all. I mean, I'm really privileged to be with you.
Thank you, sir. It's our privilege to have Dr. BVR Mohan Reddy Garu today with us. So I would like to request to speak few words about today's event, sir.
సభకు నమస్కారం. At the outset, let me thank Sri Umameshwara Garu, Sri Ramurthy Garu, and several other friends who are here for persuading me to be here this evening. Last interaction was with that famous meeting of Mr. Soniji. I was also there with many of you. I'm very delighted to be here. I see a lot of old friends, very distinguished old friends who have contributed so well to Samskruti Foundation. I certainly, from the sidelines, have been a great admirer of the work being done by Samskruti Foundation. I think our tradition, our values, our culture is more important than any time, especially now than ever before, because the change is so rapid, the change is accelerating at a pace we never experienced before. I keep saying mankind never has experienced this amount of change. So it is extremely important thereafter to ensure that in this changed environment, we don't lose our values, we don't lose our culture. And that, I think, is what Samskruti Foundation is intending to do. And I'd like to congratulate Sri Umameshwara Garu and the rest of the team. I heard so many good things about the various initiatives that are being done by Samskruti Foundation. Mr. Umameshwara Garu briefly also mentioned to me that he wants to create a national resource center for culture in Samskruti Foundation. Certainly, yes, it's a great idea, Umameshwara Garu, and we'll be very happy to support you on this initiative. He said that, lots of books are there, we need to create a library. But I'm a strong believer in terms of the digital world. Most of it has to get digitized. And as a result of that, we'll find accessibility to many more than what we can do in a physical format. We've done this extremely well in many instances so far, and one which is very dear to my heart We sent up these central libraries in each one of the schools that we run. Somebody was very gracious and generous in talking about the schools that we adopted. We now have about 38 of them. We touch the hearts of about 20,000 children every year. And in these schools, we have computer centers, which also function as digital libraries. Trust me, the amount of information that's available to these children, and especially at their convenience, is enormous. Especially for people like me who have transformed from a stage where we saw at one point of time the only source of knowledge for us was the teacher. I glued myself to the chair, I glued my eyes to the teacher, only for the intent saying that I need to learn. There's no source of learning for me from anywhere else. I moved into a different platform, but that has also transformed itself, the physical libraries. I used to be, as people said, at IIT Kanpur. I had to intend to learn, and I wanted to borrow a book from the library. I went all the way to library in search of the book, didn't find it in the rack. Went back to the librarian to ask her where the book was. She said it was just given out. And then she smiles back at me and says, Mohan, don't get overtly worried. This book won't come back to you for at least 6 weeks. Everybody who keeps for 2 weeks, there are 3 people ahead of you on the queue. I had an intent to learn. And what was the outcome? I had to wait for 6 weeks to learn. What am I in the modern times? I can choose my time. I can choose the day, the time of the day. I can choose my location. And I can learn. That's how the modern times have changed. But the modern times have also come with its own challenges. You look at the deep fakes that are coming in. It's impossible, except if you run another piece of software on top of them, to understand what is a genuine image or a genuine video versus a faked video or a made-up video. You look at the challenges we all find in terms of cybersecurity, how nervous we feel in terms of transacting with the bank. No denying at all that it has certainly eased our life, made our lives much more comfortable. It's been years since I can recall that I've been to a bank to draw money. The drawing of money is now past. But at the same time, look at the challenges that I have brought to myself. I'm constantly worried about the passwords I have, the OTP numbers that go by. And I'm sure every one of you have the same problem too. So I think in this environment that I'm talking about, it becomes important that we preserve our culture, preserve our traditions. So therefore, it's a great initiative in starting Samskruti Foundation. Congratulations again, Umameshwara Garu and the rest of the founders of Samskruti Foundation. And we will always be supportive for good initiatives. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words and valuable insights. Next, we have our respected Vice Chairman, Dr. Datla Anandaraj Garu with us. I request sir to share few words about today's event.
It's a wonderful evening. It's absolutely pleasure for Samskruti Foundation team having eminent people in the gathering. When the foundation was started, we had our goal and wish to grow this organization into a national level and all. But we never thought that, and this organization has come to this stage with great help and great contributions from the eminent people. Prasannaji has just submitted our balance sheet for last year. When the foundation was started, it with 1 lakh rupees initial this. Now we reached 1 crore. And I presume that this is after 15 years, I think I presume this is just a starting. And our next goal is to be a 100 crores organization wherein we can support various activities, not only this. Foundation program is not saturated, it is just started. And I hope any organization, I think we need support of eminent people and lot of inputs from the persons involved or from the various sections of the people. I can proudly say this foundation is a professionally run cultural organization. So we take the opinions of the ground persons, those who are working, and continuously evolve our thoughts and programs. In the morning also we have 3 successful, very fruitful sessions wherein our members or directors have shared a lot of inputs, and the same will be incorporated or followed in our day-to-day activities. I thank you all and for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words and encouragement. And now it's our pleasure to invite our esteemed chairman, Dr. C. Umameshwar Rao Garu, for the closing remarks.
Sabhaye Namaha. Dr. B.V.R. Mohan Reddy Garu, Professor Ramesh, our Vice Chairman Raju Garu, and so many eminent people who have found time to join us this evening. I would like to thank each one of you for taking your time off on a Sunday evening and spending time with us in this hall. That indicates how much you respect this organization, how much you are keen to know what we are trying to do. An overview and a brief outline has been given by my colleagues in the last 45 minutes about what type of work we are doing and what challenges lay ahead. I would like to thank at the outset Dr. B.V. Mohan Reddy Garu for saying those words that he will support the National Research Center, but definitely we will go and sit with him for a greater detailed discussion to get the outlines of his idea and how to go about it. This we will do, sir. Thank you very much. I also would like to thank Professor Ramesh, though very brief, a brilliant idea of mentioning the popularity that the public policy is assuming, and then culture-related public policy is a new terminology in the academia itself. That itself reflects what we are trying to do is a unique job which nobody else has attempted. This is proved by the fact in the Shivaji Memorial Seminar that we held in 22 at Sri Salem. A lot of people have come from various universities. We hardly found anyone other than from Maharashtra doing any work on Shivaji who is only 300 years old, 350 years old. So it means the basic research on certain things in this country is woefully lacking. And when we are trying to dig the histories of 18 dynasties which Amarnath Reddy was mentioning, the amount of effort needed is monumental. It's impossibly high, to say in 2 words. That is what we are attempting. It's not just writing a few papers here and there. We are trying to dig in the past of this country, ancient country, trying to take over what is there in the treasures that are there stowed inside the earth. It's not an easy job, sir. It is not at all an easy job, and it needs the effort of so many people, so many researchers, and all of you. Manasa, Vacha, Karmana, everything that is needed is required for if we have to succeed, even in a small way. But that is a great way. In our Shastras, these are basically divided into two broad categories, Shruti and Smriti. Many of you know this. Shruti is Sanatana, eternal, perennial, what we say, unchangeable, non-negotiable, reflected by Upanishads and things like that. Smriti are our Puranas, Itihasas, and various Dharma Shastras. These are evolved basing on the times. Yuganukulanga, వీటిని తయారు చేసుకోవాలి. This is what the Upanishad itself says. This is what other Shastras say that. It means there is no constancy about it. There is no permanency about it. Basing on the times, you will have to evolve them. So if government has to be indicated, shown what type of cultural guided policy government will have to take, we have to do that hard work and bring it before the government. Government said they have constitutionally they have taken oath while they taken the position that by the constitution which says secular republic, that we will not be able to do something about this. We have this nuisance in this country. Still we have not come out of that. Therefore, organizations like this, which are NGO organizations, which are funded by, which are helped by the society, so that they are not dictated by the terms of the government, so that the research is independent, thinking is independent, and it is really fruitful. That's why this organization is not depending so much on government, but depending on people like you and people like the people who are helping. You have to support us for working with the organizations like this. Please work with us and become much more healthy. I'm running 77. But it's not stopping me going for 15, 16 hours a day. Working in 3 organizations. Vidya Bharati, I take care of the South Central Zone, Telangana, Andhra, and Karnataka. Last 2 days, I was in Vijayawada for a workshop, a training workshop. So I'm moving. So this type of healthy work will also improve your health. What I can give you is that is one thing immediate. I may not be able to pay anything, but I can pay you an invaluable asset as help for all of you who are going to work with this. That's one advantage. Seriously take it that way. It's not a small thing. You talk to medicine doctors, you talk to philosophers, they will tell you, why did Vikram does live up to 90 plus? And at the age of 80, he is cycling and thinking about marriage for internet. Right, that's not our culture. But the fact is, he was a happy person in his own value system, and then you live. Now, when we are talking about our culture, our people have told us preserving, protecting, practicing, encouragement, sensitivity, all those things. But I would like to alert you, I danger that is creeping in our own society. One, Professor Lindsay said, Western civilizations are being colonized through cultural Marxism. So, Western civilizations are becoming colonies of cultural Marxism. They are sweeping all the universities, starting from Harvard. Now, what is this cultural Marxism? Marxists have realized that they have failed, they have not succeeded as much as they would like to through the economic principles of inherent conflict between the doer and the done, and owner and the employee and things like that. They have realized that they cannot advance. So now they would like to enter the society using the word culture, shatter the value systems of the culture, ethos of that culture, shatter the family system, marriage system and other things. It has crept into the corporate organizations also. It has not stopped with society. Corporate organizations, these principles of ESG are being dictated. They are being evaluated. They are getting money for that. My son was narrating, he was working in Facebook for a while as a senior manager. When he referred to a colleague as a she, in a normal informal discussion, she objected to that in writing. How can you refer me to as she? She's a lady, she doesn't want to be referred as she. How should I refer? They. That's what they said. What is all this nonsense? Now this nonsense not only is sweeping Western Europe, it is started entering into this country. Pujya Sarsang Chalakji in the Vijayadashmi Udbodhan, he alerted the country about cultural Marxism and wokeism that is sweeping the country. It is entering in different forms. They want to destroy the culture. Once they destroy the culture, destroy the family system, destroy the marriage system, they can win over take the reins of the country and have the power control. There is no great utopian idea that they have in mind. That utopian idea has already failed through the classical Marxism. Now they are coming through some other route. If you ask them, if you read those books, they say this is a conspiracy of the anti-people against these things. But this word is there, the activities are there. Now we have seen the symbols of them in this country also, in the various agitations. Now information is now coming about that it is not an isolated thing. All of those dots have to be linked together to see the big picture. That big picture is this cultural Marxism is likely to sweep the country, destroy our institutions. We have to protect our institutions. The Tukte gang which has come in JNU has not come simply like that. It was an effort made by them for 20 years to come up to that stage. We have not alerted ourselves about that. We are not against an idea, but we are against destroying the society. Using an idea to destroy a society and its ethos, values, civilizational ethos and all, that is what we should object to. If you have a point in view, sit across and discuss. Any professor who opposes this in US universities, that's the word they use for that. He is removed. He is ridiculed. He will not get another assignment elsewhere. 20 state governments of USA have brought in laws to ban this type of education in their schools. You can imagine how serious it is. The problem is there in USA, UK, Brazil and so many, Australia and so many other countries. In India, we have seen it. There are individuals who are funding them. George Soros is one of the great men who wants to destroy the democracy here. They are finding ways and means. They do not want a strong India. They do not want an India which is economically strong and politically strong. Because we will not be able to agree to their, appeals or insinuations or whatever you call them. We resist that. They do not want that to happen. If that has to come, people like all of you will have to be alerting yourself and your children, wherever they are located, to see that this country is protected, and they have to be given some cultural inputs to them as to what have a bent of mind and research. We need people who can support financially, we can support infrastructure, all that. We are a voluntary organizations. with a commitment to work. Help us to work in whatever manner you can. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your encouragement and guidance towards the volunteers. And now I would like to request Sri Kompela Ramurthy Garu to come to the dais and speak to few words about today's event.
డాస్ మీద షెడ్యూల్ కాదు కాబట్టి నేను కింద నుంచి మాట్లాడుతున్నాను, క్షమించండి. అలవాటు కొద్దీ యాంకరింగ్లో రండి ఫ్యూ వర్డ్స్ అనేది అలవాటైంది కాబట్టి ఫ్యూ వర్డ్స్ నేను మాట్లాడడం కోసం రాలేదు. ఇక్కడ వచ్చినటువంటి వాళ్ళు ఎవరైతే ఉంటారో చాలా సీనియర్ పర్సన్స్ అండి. నెంబర్ తక్కువ కావచ్చేమో, నెంబర్ తక్కువ కావచ్చు. ఇప్పటిదాకా సంస్కృతి ఫౌండేషన్ సంబంధించినంత వరకు ఎవరితోటి ఎప్పుడు మాట్లాడినా ఆశీర్వదించి ముందు తీసుకుపోతున్నటువంటి పెద్దలు ఉన్నారండి. ఉదాహరణకి ప్రొఫెసర్ ఆవుల మంజులత గారు, గవర్నింగ్ కౌన్సిల్ మెంబర్, మనందరికీ తెలుసు పొట్టి శ్రీరాములు తెలుగు యూనివర్సిటీ వైస్ ఛాన్సలర్గా ఉండేవారండి. ఆవిడతో ఈ విషయం ప్రస్తావన చేస్తున్నాం, ఎంపెరికల్ రీసెర్చ్ ఆధారంగా మనం చేయగలుగుతామా, అది కదా చేయాల్సింది అని వారు అన్నప్పుడు ఆ రోజు ఆ కాన్ఫిడెన్స్తో చెప్పలేకపోయినాం. ఈరోజు ఫుల్ టైం డైరెక్టర్ని పెట్టుకొని ఒక రీసెర్చ్ టీమ్ని పెట్టుకున్న కాన్ఫిడెన్స్లో నుంచి మేము మాట్లాడగలుగుతున్నాం. సంస్కృతి ఫౌండేషన్ డెఫినెట్గా చేయగలుగుతుందని నమ్మకం కూడా ఉందండి. రెండోది, 3 సంవత్సరాల క్రితము ఎటు పోవాలో అర్థం కాక మన సోనీజీ కార్యక్రమం ఇందాక బీవీఆర్ గారు మెన్షన్ చేసినట్టుగా దాని నుంచి అవుట్కమ్ ఎక్కడి నుంచి ఎటు వెళ్ళాలి అని అర్థం కాని పరిస్థితి లోపల ప్రొఫెసర్ హేమనాథరావు గారు మేము ఏదో ఆలోచిస్తున్న కాంటెస్ట్లో ఇట్లా కాదు రామమూర్తి, ఇట్లా చేస్తేనే బాగుంటుంది అని చెప్పేసి వారు మాకు గైడ్ చేశారండి. గైడ్ చేసిన దాని ప్రకారంగా వారు ప్రతి శనివారము ఆఫీస్కి వచ్చి దీనికి సంబంధించినంత వరకు ఒక రకంగా చేయబెట్టి నడిపించారండి. నేషనల్ కాన్ఫరెన్స్ దాకా వచ్చిన తర్వాత నేషనల్ కాన్ఫరెన్స్ అయిపోయిన వెంటనే ఇక్కడ చంద్రరావు గారు మా గవర్నింగ్ కౌన్సిల్ మెంబర్, ట్రస్టీ కూడా ఉన్నారండి. వారు ఏమన్నారంటే ఇక్కడి నుంచి ఆర్గనైజేషన్ ముందుకు వెళ్తుంది చూడండి అని అన్న కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ తోటి ఆయన మాట్లాడారండి. నిజంగా కూడా నేషనల్ కాన్ఫరెన్స్ ఎప్పుడైతే అయిందో మేము ఒక వ్యాలిడేట్ చేసినటువంటి ఒక కాన్సెప్ట్ని ప్రూఫ్ ఆఫ్ కాన్సెప్ట్ కింద ఎప్పుడైతే దేశానికి చెప్పగలిగినామో అఖిల భారత స్థాయిలో దీనికి ఒక రకమైనటువంటి డిస్కషన్ జరిగింది. ఆ డిస్కషన్ నుంచి దీనికి చాలా మద్దతు లభించింది. ఒక రకంగా దీంట్లో ఏదో ఒక ఆపర్చునిటీ ఉంది, నాకు దీని మీద ఎక్కువ సమయం ఇవ్వడానికి సంఘం కూడా అవకాశం ఇచ్చింది. కాబట్టి దీంట్లో ఎక్కడో ఒక ఆపర్చునిటీ ఉంది అని అఖిల భారత స్థాయిలో కూడా కోరుతున్నారు. ఇది కొంచెం కాన్ఫిడెన్స్ క్రియేట్ చేసింది. ఇట్లనే చాలా పెద్దలందరూ ఉన్నారు. గవర్నింగ్ కౌన్సిల్ మెంబరు మన కృష్ణకిషోర్ గారు, ఇందాక చంద్రరావు గారు అన్నారు. కృష్ణకిషోర్ గారు వారి ఇంట్లో దీని పురుడు పోసుకుందండి సంస్కృతి ఫౌండేషన్ 2009లో. అప్పటి నుంచి ఇప్పటిదాకా వారు కంటిన్యూస్గా ఎక్కడ కూడా ఎంత బిజీగా ఉన్నప్పటికీ కూడా నేనున్నాను అనుకుంటే ఈవేళ ప్రోగ్రామ్ ఎక్కడో తెనాలికి వెళ్ళాల్సి ఉండేది అనుకో, తెనాలి అంటే గుంటూరు అని, విజయవాడకి వెళ్ళాల్సింది క్యాన్సిల్ చేసుకొని ఈ కార్యక్రమానికి వస్తున్నాను అంటున్నారు. కాబట్టి వారు రిటైర్ అయిన తర్వాత 20% టైం దీనికోసం ఇస్తానంటున్నారండి. కాబట్టి దీంట్లో ఎక్కడో బలం ఉంది అనేది విశ్వాసం ఇంకా కలుగుతుంది కూడా అండి. అంటే పెద్ద వాళ్ళందరినీ కలుస్తున్నాము. ఉదాహరణకి విజయబాబు గారు కూడా ఇవాళ వచ్చారు మన కార్యక్రమానికి. ప్రొఫెసర్ విజయబాబు గారు కాకతీయ యూనివర్సిటీ హిస్టరీ ప్రొఫెసర్ అండి. ఫోన్లోనే మాట్లాడాము, ఇప్పటిదాకా వారిని కలవలేదండి. ఫోన్లో మాట్లాడిన తర్వాత వారు ఆలోచన షేర్ చేసుకున్న తర్వాత నేను ఉంటాను అని అన్నారు. నాకు ఎట్లాంటి ఆపర్చునిటీ ఉన్నా కూడా నేను రావడానికి ఇబ్బంది లేదు, నారపల్లిలో నాకు ఇల్లు ఉంది, నేను అక్కడికి వచ్చైనా సరే చేస్తానన్నారండి. కాబట్టి అట్లా మద్దతు ఉన్న వాళ్ళల్లో అనేక మంది, ప్రొఫెసర్ అవిక్ సర్కార్ గారు ఇందాక పొద్దున కలిసినటువంటి టీంలో కూర్చున్నారు. ఒక రకంగా मैं ऐसा कह सकता हूँ तो अविक सरकार जी हमारे पीछे पड़ रहा है. 7 महीने से क्या हुआ ऐसा बोल के हमको दौड़ा दे रहे हैं. तो इसमें हम भी एक बहुत बड़ा एक स्ट्रक्चर बनाए है. तो हिस्ट्री पब्लिक पॉलिसी का इस विषय पर हिस्टोरियन का एक 20 लोगों का लिस्ट बनाए है. तो पब्लिक पॉलिसी का जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग फेयर अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, ऐसे 20 लोगों का लिस्ट बनाए. उनके साथ थोड़ा रिसर्च करने के लिए तो और भी कुछ करना चाहते हैं. तो उसमें अभी आते ही कुछ फ़ोन किया है. तो मैं 7 नवंबर तक मैं हूँ, अब कभी आप बुला सकते हैं. ऐसा थोड़ा అట్లా ఆశీర్వదిస్తున్న వాళ్ళలో రీసెంట్గా వచ్చినటువంటి డాక్టర్ సిఎస్ శాస్త్రి గారు కూడా ఉన్నారండి. వారు పిఎంఓ నుంచి రిటైర్ అయిన తర్వాత ప్రైమ్ మినిస్టర్ ఆఫీస్ నుంచి డిఫెన్స్ మినిస్ట్రీలో డెలికేటెడ్ ఇష్యూ కటింగ్ ఎడ్జ్ దాంట్లో ఉన్నటువంటి వారు డైరెక్ట్గా ఆఫీస్కి వచ్చి దీంట్లో చాలా ఆపర్చునిటీ ఉంది, దీంట్లో పోస్ట్ రిటైర్మెంట్ నేను దీంట్లో ఒక ఆపర్చునిటీ వెతుక్కుంటాను అనే పద్ధతిలోపల వారు చెప్పడం జరిగింది. ఈరోజు రాలేదండి ఒక పోస్ట్ మాస్టర్ జనరల్, చీఫ్ పోస్ట్ మాస్టర్ జనరల్ విజయవాడ, వారు మేము మాట్లాడుతున్నాము, మేము కొద్దిగా గోల్ గుమాయిస్తున్నాం వారిని, ఇట్లా చేస్తే బాగుంటుందేమో అట్లా చేస్తే బాగుంటుందేమో. వారు చాలా స్ట్రైట్గా దీంట్లో నుంచి నేను 3 పనులు తీసుకుంటానండి, ఆ 3 పనులు నేను పూర్తి చేసేస్తాను, నేను ఎప్పుడైనా అవైలబుల్, నేను విజయవాడ కేంద్రంగా ఉంటాను, నాకు ఏమన్నా చెప్పండి అని అడిగారండి. కాబట్టి అట్లా అందరూ కలుస్తున్న వాళ్ళలో సంజయ్ పులిపాక, ఆయన స్వయంగా ఒక రీసెర్చ్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూట్ నడుపుతున్నారు, థింక్ ట్యాంక్ నడుపుతున్నారు. ఢిల్లీ పాలసీ గ్రూప్ ఢిల్లీలో వారు అక్కడ డిఫెన్స్ సంబంధించినంత వరకు సెక్యూరిటీ నార్త్ ఈస్టర్న్ కంట్రీస్ సంబంధించినంత వరకు, మిడిల్ ఈస్ట్ సంబంధించిన కంట్రీస్ సంబంధించిన డిఫెన్స్ స్ట్రాటజీస్ మీద వారు ఆర్టికల్స్ రాస్తున్నారండి. వారు ఇక్కడ కూడా పొలిటియా రీసెర్చ్ ఫౌండేషన్ అనే పేరు మీద వారు ఇక్కడ థింక్ ట్యాంక్ నడుపుతున్నారు. నేను ఎప్పుడైనా అవైలబుల్ ఉంటాను, ఇప్పటిదాకా పిలిచినప్పుడు అంతా కూడా తప్పకుండా వచ్చినటువంటి వారండి. అట్లనే నరసింహాచారి గారిని కూడా కలవడం జరిగింది. ప్రతిసారి మొదటి నుంచి మాతో పాటు ఉన్నటువంటి తిరుపతిరావు గారు కానివ్వండి, గవర్నింగ్ కౌన్సిల్ మెంబర్గా ఉంటూ డాక్టర్ సుధీంద్ర పుట్టి గారు కానివ్వండి, ఇక్కడ ఉన్నటువంటి వాళ్ళలో ఎన్ఆర్కే రెడ్డి గారు కానివ్వండి, కొత్తగా కనెక్ట్ అయినటువంటి వాళ్ళలో షైన్ శశిధర్ గారు కూడా ఒకరు ఉన్నారండి. షైన్ శశిధర్ గారు ఒక రకంగా మీరు ఇట్లాగా చేయాల్సింది నేను కొట్లాడినట్టుగానే మాట్లాడుతున్నారండి. దిస్ ఈజ్ నాట్ ది వే, దిస్ ఈజ్ ది వే అని మాతో కొట్లాడినట్టుగానే మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. వారి శ్రీమతి గారు కూడా ఆఫీస్ తీసుకొని వచ్చి, మా ఆవిడ కూడా మేనేజ్మెంట్ సంబంధించినంత వరకు ప్రొఫెసర్, ఆవిడ లయోలా కాలేజీలో స్మిత గారని, ఆవిడ మీకు ఎప్పుడు అవైలబుల్ ఉంటారు, మీరు ఎప్పుడన్నా మీరు ఆవిడతో పని చెప్పి చేయించుకోండి అనే పద్ధతిలోపల కుటుంబంగా ఆర్గనైజేషన్తో కనెక్ట్ అవుతున్నటువంటి వాళ్ళు కూడా చాలామంది ఉన్నారు. అట్లనే విశాల్ గోయల్ గారు కూడా రాఖీ ఫర్ సోల్జర్స్ కుటుంబం మొత్తానికి కార్యక్రమానికి వచ్చారండి. వచ్చి ఈ రకంగా ఈ సంస్థని ఆశీర్వదిస్తున్న వాళ్ళల్లో పెద్ద వాళ్ళందరూ కూడా ఉన్నారు. అదే రకంగా భట్టాచార్యులు గారు కూడా హెడ్ ఆఫ్ ది డిపార్ట్మెంటు ఎకనామిక్స్ ఉస్మానియా యూనివర్సిటీ, వారు కూడా కలిసిన వెంటనే వాటర్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ మీద నేను ప్రాజెక్ట్స్ తయారు చేస్తాను నాకు చెప్పండి అని అడుగుతున్నారండి. కాబట్టి ఒక రకంగా ఇంత పెద్ద స్ట్రక్చర్ని ఏ రకంగా ముందు తీసుకెళ్ళాలి అని ఆలోచిస్తున్న మొదటి రోజుల నుంచి కూడా ఇన్కాయిస్ డైరెక్టర్గా ఉన్నటువంటి సతీష్ షణాయ్ గారు, వారు కూడా వారి ఉత్సాహానికి మేము కూడా జోహార్లు ఏమంటే ఒక వారం ముందే వచ్చారండి సతీష్ షణాయ్ గారు. వచ్చి ఇక్కడ ఏదో కార్యక్రమం ఉండాలి కానీ తాళం కనబడుతుంది కదండి అని అన్నారండి. కాబట్టి బాగా గుర్తుపెట్టుకొని కార్యక్రమానికి వస్తున్న వాళ్ళల్లో కూడా వాటర్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ మీద వారు కూడా చూడాలి అని అనుకుంటున్నాం. అదే రకంగా బెంగళూరు నుంచి పిలిస్తే ఈ పని కోసం ముందుకు వచ్చినటువంటి వాళ్ళు రమేష్ గారితో పాటుగా తాటిపల్లి శ్రీనివాస్ కానివ్వండి, చక్రధర్ మిత్రుడు కానివ్వండి, వీళ్ళు బెంగళూరు నుంచి వచ్చినటువంటి వాళ్ళు. ఆల్ ది వే విశాఖపట్నం నుంచి పిలిచిన వెంటనే ధరణి గారు కూడా, ప్రొఫెసర్ ధరణి గారు ఉస్మానియా యూనివర్సిటీ మన ఆంధ్ర యూనివర్సిటీలో ప్రొఫెసర్, ఆవిడ కానివ్వండి, విజయవాడ నుంచి వచ్చిన రాజగోపాల్ గారు కానివ్వండి, ఇరిగేషన్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్లో ఉన్నట్టు మారుతి మోహన్ రెడ్డి గారు కానివ్వండి. కాబట్టి ఇట్లా ప్రొఫెసర్ అంజయ్ గారు హిస్టరీ ప్రొఫెసర్, వారితో కూడా నాకు డైరెక్ట్ పరిచయం లేదండి, కేవలం రెఫరెన్స్ తోటి మాట్లాడినటువంటి అంజయ్ గారు మీరు రావాలి అని. కాబట్టి ఉన్న వాళ్ళందరిలో కూడా ఈ రకంగా చేసినటువంటి వాళ్ళు చాలామంది దీన్ని ఆశీర్వదిస్తున్నటువంటి వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు. కాబట్టి రైట్ ఫ్రమ్ ద ఇన్సెప్షన్ మాతో పాటు నడిచిన వాళ్ళలో దుర్గారెడ్డి గారు, మా సంఘచాల గారు కూడా ఉన్నారు. కాబట్టి ఈ రకంగా చాలామంది ఈ పనిని ముందు తీసుకుపోతున్నారు. ఇప్పుడు చెప్పిన వాళ్ళ అందరికీ సమయం ఉండకపోవచ్చేమో కానీ కొంతమంది దీనికి సంబంధించినంతవరకు మన జర్నీ ఎక్కడి నుంచి మీరు చూశారు, ఇది ఎక్కడికి వెళ్తే బాగుంటుందని మీకు అనిపిస్తుంది, కొద్దిగా మచ్చుకు ఒక 4-5 విషయాన్ని ప్రస్తావన చేస్తే బాగుంటుందని అనిపిస్తుంది. వచ్చిన వాళ్ళు ఎటువంటి వాళ్ళని చెప్పడానికి మాత్రమే నేను ఇక్కడికి వచ్చాను కాబట్టి డయాస్ ఎక్కలేదు, వారి ఆదేశానికి మన్నించలేదు కాబట్టి క్షమించాలండి. కృష్ణకిషోర్ గారు.
సభకి నమస్కారం. రెస్పెక్టెడ్ మోహన్ రెడ్డి గారు, మీ ప్రోటోకాల్ ఫాలో అవుతా. రెస్పెక్టెడ్ ఉమామహేశ్వరరావు గారు, రెస్పెక్టెడ్ రమేష్ గారు, రెస్పెక్టెడ్ రాజు గారు, రెస్పెక్టెడ్ రామూర్తి గారు, అండ్ ఆల్ డియర్ ఫ్రెండ్స్. ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ sir, about a couple of hours back we were discussing about the relevance of Samskruti Foundation. If we see over the last nearly 1400 years of Indian history, except the last 77 years, we have been ruled by foreigners. They have completely impacted our, the way we are governed, the way the policies have been formulated, the way our history has been written, the way the entire administration was carried out. To the extent that today our own children do not admire the great country they are born in. They are not aware that this is a country which was a leading country, not only in spirituality, but in terms of astronomy, in terms of medicine, in terms of architecture, sculpture, and literature. In all respects, India has been the greatest country in the world in the past. In the place where we are staying here in this city, the biggest diamond mines were there. They were selling diamonds in Krishnadevara time on the payments. That's what we read. Economically, we are very strong. Spiritually, we are very strong. Culturally, very strong. But today, if we see the younger generations do not have the same respect what some of us have in the elder generations about our own background. All this because, thanks to people like Macaulay, thanks to the systematic indoctrination done, we have forgotten our own cultural moorings and history. So today we find increasing breakup of marriages. Till 1956 we had the Hindu Marriage Act. People generally, there was no concept of divorce in this country, irrespective of whether Hindu, Muslim, Christian. People respected each other, husband, wife. They knew how to get along well with each other. They knew how to adjust, Edudan Janmal Anubandham, irrespective of which place you are in the country. But today, so many people are talking about divorces, which is a very sad thing because we have forgotten that we have to adjust to each other. I'm not advocating a bad marriage, not at all. But there's a concept of loving each other, getting along with each other, adjusting to each other's space. That is what our culture taught. Today, unfortunately, at the drop of a hat, and somebody was talking 8 years and 7th marriage, that's totally unacceptable in our culture. But similarly, like this is leading to strife, family strife problems. If you see on the economic front, we are being ruled we find across the world, people are taking over companies, they end up as owners of the company. Today, we are very proud, we have Mohan Reddy Garu running a very big organization, and we are very proud of our CEOs abroad, Indians. But I would not be happy if all of us here in this country end up as employees of some companies controlled by Abu Dhabi Investment Authority and others. Today, hospitals are being taken over, schools are being taken over. We are talking of cultural indoctrination. Definitely it will happen. Once they have the economy in their hand, next step they'll influence our culture also. So, sir, we need to relook at our own policies and see this is the guidance we have to give to the government. How our future generation should be. Depending on that, our country will grow. Definitely, our country is on the path of prosperity and growth, but only when spiritually we become strong, culturally we become strong, and put our own heritage also in place, then there's meaning to all the economic growth and prosperity. So this, I believe, is one of the very important functions which Samskruti Foundation is playing. I'm very thankful to all the wonderful people here who are selflessly working. So you should see people like Ramurthy Garu and all Ram Babu Garu. It's a mission, life mission. I can talk the same about many people sitting here. Thank you very much, sir. And let's hope and pray that much better days are ahead for our great country. Thank you.
పదం వినుంటామో తెలియదు కానీ నక్షత్ర వనము, నక్షత్ర పాదవనము, నలభీమ పాకము, దానికి సంబంధించిన లిటరేచర్ నా దగ్గర ఉంది అని ఆనందరావు గారు ప్రస్తావన చేశారు. అదే రకంగా దేవతా వృక్షాల మీద రీసెర్చ్ చేస్తున్నటువంటి మాధవి గారు కూడా ఇక్కడ ఉన్నారు, వేణి మాధవి గారు. ఆల్ ది వే వెళ్ళి అభిజ్ఞాన శాకుంతలంలో దుష్యంతుడు శకుంతల మాట్లాడిన పొలిటికల్ సైన్స్ థియరీ ఏదైతే ఉందో, పొలిటికల్ సైన్స్ ప్రొఫెసర్స్ కూర్చుంటారా అని ఒక ప్రశ్న వేస్తే వెంటనే కనెక్ట్ అయిపోయి ఇట్లాంటివి జరగాలి అనే పద్ధతి లోపల ఆల్ ది వే కర్నూలు నుంచి వచ్చినటువంటి మన మహాలక్ష్మి గారు, శ్రీ మహాలక్ష్మి గారు, ఆమె సంస్కృతంలో పిహెచ్డి చేశారు సెంట్రల్ యూనివర్సిటీ హైదరాబాద్లో. కాబట్టి ఇటువంటి వాళ్ళు కూడా ఇక్కడ ఉన్నారు. కాబట్టి ఒకసారి अविक सरकार गारू वारी विषय अविक सरकार जी मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा थोड़ा आपका क्या जर्नी है तो संस्कृति फाउंडेशन में कनेक्ट होने का, बाद में थोड़ा महालक्ष्मी गारू 2 words she can please. आपका बात आप ही बताना अच्छा है, तो मैं तो बता दिया तो।
नहीं, मेरा क्या नाम है उनका जो भुवनेश्वर में है, सुब्रत जी, हाँ सुब्रत जी। सो मैं नाम भूल जाता हूँ, सॉरी। तो मैं ISB में पढ़ाता हूँ, पब्लिक पॉलिसी का कोर्स है। तो 2 साल पहले मेरा स्टूडेंट रहा है सुब्रत त्रिपाठी जी, ये इज़ RSS कार्यकर्ता। तो तब नहीं जानता था जब उनको पढ़ाया था। अभी पिछले साल दिवाली के टाइम ऐसे ही बात कर रहा था कि कल्चरल इश्यूज़ लेके, कि जो मेरा इंटरेस्ट है, जैसे मैं बोल रहा था कि हिस्ट्री में काफ़ी कुछ होता है बट हमारा यूथ हमारा कल्चर के साथ कनेक्ट नहीं हो पाते हैं। तो दे सी वेस्टर्न वर्ल्ड इज़ मोर enlightening in front of them. That's the way for career, whereas this world remains more backward in their views. So how can we bring a relook into this current things from those philosophies? And then that's the point. Last year he connected me to Samskruti Foundation. So over the time we developed with Ram Murthy ji, Ram Babu ji, and now Amarnath Reddy ji is taking the lead with the research director and trying to scout for historians how we can take we have to get a expert for each dynasty across the 18 dynasties, so that we can see what are the good practices that have been followed, what were the challenges in those dynasties, and we can take these stories now to the people. Now our history has not been looked into from those perspectives. It has been primarily from the perspective of the rulers. So the value add that each of the dynasties has done, that is what our interest is. And as Sir also mentioned, that's a mammoth task, so we are taking baby steps towards that. Thank you.
పేర్లు చెప్పకపోతే క్షమించాలి, దృష్టికి వచ్చిన పేర్లు మాత్రమే చెప్తున్నాను. కాంట్రిబ్యూషన్ సంబంధించినంత వరకు సంగీతారెడ్డి గారు కూడా సాంస్క్రిట్లో డాక్టరేట్ చేశారు, నరసింహాచార్య గారు ఉన్నారు, పక్కన కిరణ్ ఉన్నారు. అందరూ కూడా పబ్లిక్ పాలసీలో వీళ్ళకు కూడా కొద్దిగా అనుభవం ఉన్నటువంటి వాళ్ళు. ఎన్ఆర్కే రెడ్డి గారు కూడా మేనేజ్మెంట్లో రామాయణంలో ఏం జరుగుతుంది అనే విషయంలో వాళ్ళు ఆల్రెడీ స్టూడెంట్స్కి చెప్తున్నటువంటి వారని ఎన్ఆర్కే రెడ్డి గారిని. మహాలక్ష్మి గారిని.
సార్, నేను నా ఒపీనియన్ సంస్కృతంలో రీసెర్చ్ చేసినప్పుడు చాలా చాలా విషయాలను నేను ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేశాను. యాక్చువల్గా ఐ స్టడీడ్ అభిజ్ఞాన, మై రీసెర్చ్ టాపిక్ ఈ సాంస్క్రిట్ డ్రామాస్ అండ్ దే తెలుగు అడాప్టేషన్స్ ఇన్ Telugu adaptations. So I studied Abhigyan Sakuntalam along with 5 other Sanskrit language natakas. Later I studied Sanskrita Telugu Prabandhas. I worked on that. While reading Sanskrit natakas, Sanskrit poets, they want to convey so many things to the youth. For example, in Abhigyan Sakuntala Nataka, Kalidasa conveyed one message to the youth. He conveys one thing in 5th chapter through the words of Kanvasishya Sarangarava, Atah Pariksha Kartavyam. So, entire drama's message, what Kalidasa wants to convey, is only in that 1-2 word sentence. So after that I inspired and studied Ramayana and many, I tried to study Vedas also, translated Vedas and critical analysis of Mahabharata like that. I studied about Draupadi, Kunti, Tara. So based on that I took so many personality development classes to the girls in schools. So later I worked in Arunachala in Vedas, translated some rooks of Veda, Rigveda and Yajurveda. Later I found in Atharvaveda so many Rajanitik Vishayas are there, along with Samajik Drukpada, sociological background, and deities of Vedas, deities, Rigveda Devatas, Yajurveda Devatas, like that I found so many things. So when Ramamurthy sir all the way came to my house at Kurnool, I inspired a lot. So I want to work with this foundation. I can help in this way only by translating Sanskritam from the Vedas to Puranas. And in the meanwhile, I invited my two friends, little friend Dr. Vaijanath Reddy and Subba Reddy Garu. So they came for me, with me. So Vaijanath Reddy, he has so many, good vision. So he wants to deliberate 2 or 3, 2 minutes. Thank you very much for giving me.
Yeah. సదాశివసమారంభాం వ్యాసశంకరమధ్యమాం అస్మదాచార్యపర్యంతాం వందే గురుపరంపరాం. శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమః. విచ్చేసిన వివిధ రంగాల ప్రముఖులకు మరియు వేదికను అలంకరించిన పెద్దలకు, అవకాశం ఇచ్చిన వారికి నమస్కారాలతో, నిత్య కళ్యాణం పచ్చతోరణం అని ఒక మాట మనం విని ఉంటాం. తిరుమలలో ప్రతిరోజు కళ్యాణం జరుగుతుంది. ఈ కళ్యాణం అనేది చాలా ముఖ్యమైన ఘట్టం తిరుమలలో జరిగే ఉత్సవాల్లో. ఈ కళ్యాణోత్సవంలో ఒక కీర్తన సాధారణంగా పాడుతూ ఉంటారు. ఏంటంటే, పద్మా శ్రీనివాస దివ్యమూర్తి తాదాత్మ్యం ప్రకృతి పురుష నిత్య కళ్యాణాద్భుత మహత్యం, ప్రకృతి పురుష నిత్య కళ్యాణాద్భుత మహత్యం. ఈ ప్రకృతి, పురుషుడు అనే పదాల యొక్క అర్థం నేటి తరం మర్చిపోతుంది. ఈ కీర్తన ఎందుకు ప్రస్తావించానంటే, ఈ పదాల యొక్క అర్థం మన నేటి తరం, నేటి యువత తెలుసుకోవాల్సిన అవసరం ఉంది. మన చైర్మన్ గారు చెప్పినట్టు ఒక విపరీత పరిస్థితి ఏర్పడింది. స్త్రీలు తాము స్త్రీలు అని భావించట్లేదు, పురుషులు తాము పురుషులని భావించట్లేదు. ఎవరికి నచ్చితే వాళ్ళు అలా భావించడం, అది చాలా ప్రకృతి విరుద్ధమైన విషయం. ఒకటి సమాజంలో పాశ్చాత్య దేశాల్లో ఆల్రెడీ జరిగిపోయింది. ఆ విపరీతం మన దేశాలకు కూడా వ్యాపిస్తుంది. ఈ ప్రకృతి, పురుషుడు అనే పదాల యొక్క అర్థం మన నేటి తరానికి, యువతకి తెలియకుండా ఎందుకు పోయిందంటే, దట్ ఇట్ సెల్ఫ్ రిఫ్లెక్ట్స్ ద లాస్ట్ కంటిన్యూటీ విత్ ద కల్చర్. సంస్కృతితో ఉన్న అనుబంధం తెగిపోయింది. మరి దీనికి పరిష్కారం ఏంటి? పుస్తకాలు రాస్తే లేదా ఉపన్యాసాలు ఇస్తే సంస్కృతితో అనుబంధం అనేది రాదు. ఆ సంస్కృతితో, ఒక వైద్యుడిగా చెప్తున్నాను, సంస్కృతితో అనుబంధం ఏర్పడాలి అంటే ఆయుర్వేదం పునరుద్ధరించబడాలి. ఎందుకంటే ఆయుర్వేదం అనేది కేవలం వైద్యశాస్త్రం మాత్రమే కాదు, అది మన భారతీయ జీవన సంస్కృతి. అందులో పుట్టుక నుంచి మరణం వరకు, బ్రహ్మచర్యం నుంచి వివాహం వరకు ప్రతి అంశాన్ని ప్రస్తావించారు. మన జీవన విధానం మరొక విధంగా వెళ్తూ మాటలు మాత్రం సంస్కృతి గురించి మాట్లాడితే సంస్కృతి నిలబడే విషయం కాదు. జీవన విధానం కూడా సంస్కృతితో కలిసి పయనించాలంటే దానికి మార్గం చూపించేది ఆయుర్వేద వైద్యశాస్త్రం. కాబట్టి ఆయుర్వేద వైద్యశాస్త్ర పరంగా ఈ ఫౌండేషన్తో కలిసి పనిచేయడానికి నేను సంసిద్ధత వ్యక్తం చేస్తూ ఈ భాషణాన్ని ఇంతటితో ముగిస్తున్నాను. ధన్యవాదాలు.
Thank you, everyone. Our annual meeting came to the end. To conclude this enriching evening, let us unite our minds and hearts in a harmonious prayer with Shanti Mantram, spreading peace and goodwill for all. I'll chant first line of Shanti Mantram. Please be seated. So follow my line. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Once again, thank you everyone for being part of this annual meeting. We are expecting same spirit and support from everyone for all the time. Dhanyawad everyone. Yes. So